For this problem, I want to use an approach called factoring by grouping, where I'm going to group together terms that have something in common, so then I can later factor out things and combine. So what I have is, in this case, I'm just going to group together what are next to each other. Notice these two have an x in common. Notice the next two terms both also have an x in common, so I'm going to combine this and this. But be careful now that I've combined these two. The negative sign in the front, right here, when I just read back through, in this case it's going to make now a positive answer. So in order to correct that, I need to make this a positive number. And then over here, the 25a and the 50, notice they both have a 25 in common. So I'm going to group these together as well. So now what I have is different terms that I can now pull things out of, pull common factors. So notice here I have an x and an x in common for that first group of terms. So I could pull an x out, and I'm left with an a. And I'm sorry, the problem should have said plus 2x squared. So I'm actually going to pull out an x squared. So I'm going to have left over an a plus 2 when I pull out the x squared. And then over here I can pull out a 10, and I can pull out an x if they have in common. So I'm left with an a plus 2. And then over for the last group of terms, I can pull out a 25 that they have in common, and I'm left with, once again, an a plus 2. Now notice how they all have an a plus 2 in common, right there. So what I can do is I can pull those a plus 2's out, and then remaining in parentheses, I'm going to put what I have left over. So the x squared, this negative 10x, and this plus 25. Now notice I can factor one more time. So a plus 2 remains the same, but over here I can get an x minus 5 times an x minus 5. So my final answer will be this whole answer right here.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.